family. Good evening to you guys. I want to say Happy New Year. Tomorrow is the last day of 2025. And guys, it's no better feeling to be here tonight with you guys to be able to share within our most anticipated class. I hear this from many of you guys, our top investments for 2026. We've been doing this now for the last 4 years, where towards the end of the year, I'll provide you guys the top investments that we focus on for the upcoming year, guys. And so, hope you guys have great New Year plans ahead. I want to also say Happy New Year to the Facebook family that's also watching. You guys will see here in the back here, we got stock tips for 2026. And guys, I want to go ahead and get right into this information here tonight because I know your time is precious. And we're going to get right into this information here and be able to help you guys understand some of the things that what we're going to be focusing on over in 2026 here. So let me just go ahead and pull it up here, guys, and we're going to get right into the to the session here, right? So our focus is top 10 investments for 2026 here. And so, guys, as I get ready to go into this information, I do want to share this here with you. This information is for information purposes only, educational purposes, right? So, understand when it comes with investing, there is risk associated with it. So, I do have a lot of new members to the LesWin financial community, and sometimes they may only think that stocks only go up or index funds only go up all the time. But we also need to be well aware here, right, that there is risk when investing, and we use our own educated decisions based on the information and educational that information that we put out here tonight. So this is just a disclosure, guys, that you're going to start seeing in majority of my presentations before I submit, right? So, guys, before we get into the top investments for 2026, right? I do want to share here with you the top investments for 2025 that we went over last year with you guys. And when you look at this right here, guys, here's where we were at last year. All right. And so some of our top companies was Palantir, right? Palantir was making AI for the military, was up 139%. SoFi, 72%, which is a banking. Our favorite company, Nvidia, is up 40% this year. Meta, which is Facebook, is doing well. The only two companies that we didn't necessarily have any luck on was Bitcoin. It's down about 5%, which is good. Because guess what? We now we bought a discount. And MicroStrategy here, which is connected to Bitcoin, is down 46%. So here's our top investments for 2025. Went, as you will see here, most of the investments did exceptionally well here. Many of you guys bought Palantir. Also, too, AMD, guys, which is another chip maker, was also honorable mention. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Now, also, too, guys, what I want to share here with you, right, is each one of you guys, if you're with me, you have VOO, which is the S&P 500 a la stock market in your portfolio. And you also have QQQ, which is the technology sector. That's your top 100 technology companies that sits inside of one basket. And so when you look at the performance of these particular two stock indexes, you will see that the stock market so far this year with VOO, as we track that, is up 17%. And our technology sector is up 21%, guys. This has been an amazing year in itself here. Do want to share something else here with you really quick on another slide as far as not to get ahead of you guys, but I want to share this right because this right here is pretty powerful here. I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this right here. So the stock market was up 17% so far this year. I want to share this here with you guys here really quick here. So guys, when you go right here and look, all right, 2024, guys, the stock market, it was up 25%. 2023, it was up 26%. And you go right here in 2025, guys, and you see the stock market up 17%. So we're talking 50% from 2023 to 2024 on top of another 17% in 2025, guys. That's 67% over the last 3 years. Guys, when we talk about investing, right? This is why I talk about it so much because we talk about you go to work, you work for your money. We want to take your active income and now take it to passive income and put it to work. And that's what we've been seeing. You've been seeing that the stock market is up 17%. Your 401k account, guys, is up around about that average 15, 16, 17%, right? Man, what a time it is to be invested. All right, so we're gonna go right back over here, and we're gonna finish up over here in our top 10 investments for 2025 here. So go ahead here. I'm gonna start back and share my screen, and we're gonna get into it here. So if you got paper pads or pens, have at it here, and we're gonna get right back over here to our top 10 investments for 2026. All right. So here we go here, guys. Here we go here. So our top investments, I want to go ahead and give it to you, starting out right here when we start, guys, for the sake of your time right here. So our top investments for 2026. Here's our top 10 investments. Now you will see some of these companies here were part of the last year as well, and we just go ahead and continue to add on to it. But we also see some new players into this right here as well. And so if you guys want to screenshot this right here and look at our top 10 investments for 2026, and again, this information right here is for educational purposes only, information purposes only. But through LesWin Financial, through my research that I've conducted over the last 2 months, these are the companies that I feel that's going to put us in a position to continue to have massive growth in 2026. And guys, we're still going to have our VOO, we're still going to have our QQQ as our core funds as part of our investments. But when we look at our individual companies, here are some of the top 10 companies that we're going to focus on here, right? And so, guys, we're going to go ahead right here and get dialogued over here into it and talk about some of these top 10 companies here. When we look at JP Morgan Chase as our first company here, right? JP Morgan Chase is the largest bank in America. They are now believing in crypto. 2025, you will see here that JP Morgan Chase is up 35% in 2025. But here is why JP Morgan is on our list and one of our top investments for 2025. So, guys, one of the things that we have going on right about now is President Trump, and we have Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. So, Jerome Powell, he's the Federal Reserve Chairman. He controls interest rates. And Trump has been like riding him to lower the interest rates. And Jerome Powell said, hey, look, you're not going to pressure me to lower these interest rates because my job is to control inflation and make sure inflation doesn't go up. And if inflation does not go up, then we can lower interest rates. So, guys, we've been seeing it over the past quarter here. We've seen an interest rate cut in December. We've seen an interest rate cut in November. We could have another interest rate cut in January. And the reason why JP Morgan Chase is one of our top 10 investments, who benefits, guys, when we have an interest rate cut, right? And so when now you go and refinance your particular home, or when you want to go and buy a new home, where are you going to go? You're going to go to some type of lender, which is a banking industry, right? And so now when you lower interest rates, they're going to get more customers like what we had in 2021, 2020, when interest rates was low. Man, the drive and the demand for people to get cheaper borrowing costs, they're going to go to lenders. And guys, guess what? The banks are going to benefit from that. The financial sector is going to benefit from that. So you talking about your Goldman Sachs, your Wells Fargo, your JP Morgan Chase. So JP Morgan Chase is the largest bank in America, and that's why we have it as our top 10, one of our top 10 investments for 2025. Now, guys, if you are an index investor per se, right? Index investor would be if you used a basket of eggs, right? And now you're owning several different companies inside of an industry, like we represent the eggs in that carton, right? So if you want to buy the whole financial industry, write this down right here, guys. The ticker symbol for this will be X in Xavier, L as in Lima, F as in Frank. XLF. That's owning all the banks. But if you want to own it individually, JP Morgan Chase, JPM, is going to be one of our top 10 investments for 2025 here, right? So we see here with JP Morgan Chase, it's up 35% so far this year, which is amazing in itself here. The second company, guys, entire part of our top 10 investments is going to be Broadcom. Broadcom is king of design and custom chips. They make AI chips for Google, Meta, and guys, we've been hearing a lot about Open AI, right? And so they're making chips even for Open AI. So the 99% of the traffic touch Broadcom chips, guys. That's pretty significant. I mean, they're an AI company here. Over the last month, here's one of the reasons why we want to invest in Broadcom, because over the last month, it's been beaten down pretty good here, right? But the return on this here has been 51% so far this year for Broadcom here, right? So guys, you're going to see here a lot of companies here within the top 10 investments that we speak of, right? Or mainly technology companies and AI companies, right? And so AI and tech, if you will look at Wall Street analysts, their projections for 2026, they look at what's going to continue to drive the market. It's going to be AI. All right, it's going to be technology. It's going to be the earnings report. It's going to be these companies continue to grow in itself here, right? Because guys, when we use artificial intelligence, you got to think about it. You can literally go to Chat GPT and put in anything that you want possibly, right? And guess what, guys? It's going to spit that information out to you within seconds. What's going to stop that? So most people say, well, Sherwin, are we in an AI boom? We're not absolutely in an AI boom, guys. We're just in the third quarter. I'm sorry, we're in the third inning of the AI boom, right? So the baseball game has 9 innings. I feel like we're in that third inning for the AI. And so that's what's been driving the market. What's crazy part about this is you see NVIDIA here is back on the list as well. And we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. But the crazy part about this here, right? I'll get new members that come into the community, which I love. I appreciate you guys rocking with LesWin Financial. And I'll ask a new member, I say, have you ever heard of NVIDIA before? So for the ones that's been in this community here for years now, you don't take NVIDIA for granted, because there's people out here in the world that does not know about NVIDIA. And as you guys know, that wealth is being built all around people. So people work in the office queues, work in the office, and working hard for their job, but they don't even know about the most valuable company in the world, which is the leader for AI. All right. So let's go ahead and get back into our top 10 investments here. And Broadcom is our second of the top 10 investments for 2025 for the LesWin financial community here. Guys, Bitcoin. All right. Bitcoin here, digital currency. Bitcoin in October, guys, got as high as $126,000 here. Bitcoin currently right about now is at 88,000, right? And so the expectancy for Bitcoin is 175,000 here. All right, guys, every week I put money into Bitcoin, all right? For me, for my kids. Guys, you can go and buy Bitcoin over in Robinhood. That's my recommendation. You can do it on Coinbase for any dollar amount. You can set recurrings up, $5, $10, $15. The same amount of, guys, the way I treat it is the same amount of money that I'm going to spend eating out on a weekly basis. That's what I transfer over into Bitcoin. Been able to buy Bitcoin now at $88,000 level, and with expectancy of it in 2026 to go as high as 175,000. In the next 10 to 15 years, Bitcoin could easily be at $1 million threshold. And now at 88,000 level, it's a great time to take advantage of it, like always. And what it also does, it gives us diversification inside of our investment platform. You will see right here, Bitcoin is down 5% this year, which anything that's down that we see, it's an opportunity. All right. So guys, let me say this here really quick, and then I'm gonna come back here. When you guys see an investment, there's two ways to look at it, right? You look at the price, and then you look at the value. Don't focus on the price, focus on the value. This investment is like a down payment towards your future. Where will this investment be worth 3 years from now? Where will this investment be worth 5 years from now? Where will this investment be worth 10 years from now? Don't necessarily focus on the price because Bitcoin is going to continue to grow. The current administration that we have fully supports Bitcoin. All right. They're going to continue to push that up. And if you don't take advantage of it, then when it go back up to 126,000, which is at its all-time high, when it hit 150,000, when it hit 175,000, you're gonna be sitting back and say, you know what, Sherwin told us at the end of December that Bitcoin was gonna continue to rise in 2026. I didn't take advantage of it. But you can take 5 minutes to go to Robinhood if you don't, go and open up an account, and literally, I just did this with a guy the other day, and literally put $5 a week into Bitcoin, $10 a week into Bitcoin. Same way that you go and do your spend on your Uber Eats and your Amazon. You can do the same thing with with Bitcoin, and take advantage of it. All right, guys. The next one on the list right here is AMD. AMD was honorable mention as a top 10 investment last year. Guys, it's another AI chip maker, just like an NVIDIA's. It's an NVIDIA competitor, guys. If you look at AMD's CEO, she is the cousin to NVIDIA CEO. All right. AMD is making major deals with AI. All right. And you will see so far this year, AMD has had a great year, guys, up 78%. I talk a lot about AMD. Keep buying AMD because it's an AI chip maker, right? And AI will continue to grow as the demand for AI continue. All right. So here's the thing, another one here, right? Meta. Meta here's your largest social media platform. This is your Facebook, guys. This is WhatsApp. This is Instagram. This is Threads. This is Facebook Messenger. Meta owns these particular companies here, right? And if you're on Instagram and you scrolling, why not own Meta, right? If you're on Facebook and the people that's watching on Facebook right about now, right? Why not own Meta, right? We can own it individually. Meta hasn't had a great year compared to some of these other companies that we have, up 13%. But let me share this here with you as well, guys. When you buy these indexes right here, the S&P 500 at VOO and this technology sector at QQQ, Meta is also in VOO and Meta is also in QQQ. So if you don't have it individually, you also has it as a partial share, like a slice of the pizza inside of these indexes right here. All right. But we really like Meta, guys, because Meta here, guys, got over 3 billion active users on a daily basis. And the one way that Meta makes its money is through advertising. And so it's going to continue to spend a lot of money on AI and focus on advertisements and continue to make money in that regard, right? Led by a great CEO. Next company here, guys, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. Let me just say this here, guys, really quick. Let me say this. I started doing the top 10 investments for the next year in 2021. So I launched LesWin Financial in 2020. All right. And in 2021, in November of 2021, I started introducing NVIDIA to the LesWin Financial community. And I also said that, hey, look, NVIDIA is going to be our top investment for 2022. And what happened in 2022? NVIDIA went down 50% because the overall stock market went down. But since then, NVIDIA, guys, you know what NVIDIA has been doing. 95% of these people, that's the actual 44 people that's live on here, and then others that's watching, and this will be recorded. If you've been with me for a while, you know what's inside of your portfolio and impact what NVIDIA has had on it. All right. NVIDIA will always continue as long as we have this AI demand, will always be our top investment for the Let's Win Financial because we've been holding NVIDIA for a long time. It's the king of AI. All right. The stock is down from its all time high. NVIDIA, guys, right about now, if you look at it, 5.95% over the last month. All right. If you go right here, look at year to date, it's up 39.65%. If you go and look this time last December to now, it's up 36.40%. But here's where all the money is made right here. Over the last 5 years, right here, it's up 1,326%. Guys, we got kids in this financial community got NVIDIA in their portfolio. I know my kids do. And a lot of them have seen these type of returns and have made thousands and thousands on top of thousands on top of thousands on top of thousands. Guys, I ain't talking about 1,000. I ain't talking about 10,000. I've seen people in their portfolio made $70,000 off Nvidia, $50,000 off Nvidia, $300,000 off Nvidia. It was just the largest one. That's right. That's right. And next week, guess what? Nvidia is led by a great CEO, Jensen. He's going to a conference in California called CES, and it's a big AI conference. And guess what? He's going to continue to push the agenda for AI for Nvidia. Now, what's going to be Nvidia's biggest thing going into 2026 is this right here. What's their market share going to be in China? Because they used to sell their demanding AI chips over in China, and they stopped it because this time last year there was a threat to Nvidia by China through another company that was supposed to be another Nvidia for China, and it was called DeepSeek. And man, when that information, that news came out, man, Nvidia stock went down like 16% in one day. I got people in this community here texting me on the WhatsApp group, Sherwin, what should we do about Nvidia? Should we sell Nvidia? You will always hear me say, never change a long-term strategy due to a short-term consequence. I'm gonna say that again because I say it a lot. And there's a gentleman on here, he could quote me as well. Never change a long term strategy due to a short term consequence. And we saw Nvidia go down 16%, the same way it went 50% back in 2022. But we saw Nvidia do what it does like it always does. It went back and it went up and it hit to new all time highs. And so, guys, this right here has been one of our biggest breadwinners. And this, to be honest with you guys, is my biggest legacy. This will be my biggest legacy. And the reason why I say that is because there's people in this community that have kids, they have grandkids that have made over 10,000, 20,000, $30,000 just off Nvidia. I told my wife, I said when she buried me, I want you to be to put on my headstone the lover of, I shouldn't say it because I don't want you guys thinking like I'm literally crazy about this, but Nvidia has changed a lot of our lives. It really has. And so we like what it's going to do for the community, and it still can be invested. All right, still can be invested. So I talk a lot about Nvidia, guys. You can go on the Facebook page and literally just scroll and scroll and scroll and see all the different posts from years ago that I've been talking about this particular company here. The demand for it still strong. It's up 40% this year, and so it's the most valuable company in the world, guys. It's the most valuable company in the world. What do I mean by that? A lot of people won't necessarily understand what I mean by that. So let me just share this here really quick, and we're gonna continue to keep pushing here. So if you look at this right here, we go right here, and I put in market cap rankings. All right. So this right here tells you what every company in the world is worth in their particular value. All right. So when I go to the site right here, you're gonna see what is the top 10 or whatever companies in America, right? In the world. You will see right here, Nvidia, guys, is worth $4.5 trillion. dollars. Apple is the second most valuable company in the world. They're worth $4 trillion. dollars. Nvidia is worth $4.5 trillion. dollars. There's only two companies in the world that's worth over $4 trillion. dollars. That's Nvidia and that's Apple. But ladies and gentlemen, there's another company that's been coming, and it's Google. And we're going to talk about Google next. They are worth $3.7 trillion. dollars. They are the third most valuable company in the world. But as you go right here and see, here's some other companies here. Facebook, they're the sixth most valuable company in the world. They're worth $1.6 trillion. dollars. We're going to be talking about TSMC in a minute. Tesla right here is the most valuable, 10th most valuable company in the world. They're worth $1.5 trillion dollars here. This Berkshire Hathaway here, guys, is Warren Buffett company here. And tomorrow is Warren Buffett last day as the CEO as Berkshire Hathaway. Warren Buffett is known as one of the most prominent investors of all time. He is stepping down, and tomorrow is his last day as the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. All right. So, guys, the next company that we're talking about here was Google. Google owns Gmail. Google also owns YouTube. You got your kids playing on the YouTube. So I know my kids on YouTube sometime. They're on the Roblox now. If you got a Gmail email, right, why not have ownership into Google, right? And Google now is also making AI chips and have had an exceptional weird year. You will see that the stock in itself is up 65% so far this year, a very strong growth. And so they have ads as well on their Google searches. You will see the Google search here controls 90% of the global searches here, right? So we really like Google because they're making a strong demand into the AI race and competing with Nvidia here. You see that they're actually outperforming Nvidia. They're up 65% this year, where Nvidia stock is up 40%. And so for my new investors as well, right? When you go in and you buy these stocks, you can buy these stocks for any dollar amount. $5, $10, $15. You don't have to buy them by the share price. That's why there's no excuse to be able to buy some of these most valuable companies we're talking about. Palantir here. It was on our top 10 list last year. Again, it makes AI for the military. I gave it to you last year as a top investment for 2025. What have it done? 139%. If you got into it when I told you in January, your Palantir position should be up about 139% here, right? What does Palantir do? They're an AI company. They gather a lot of information and put it into like a little data center, into like this one little like just big computer. And what it does is it just spit out the information. That's why it's beneficial for the military, because the military, when they got some missions that they need to go on, like when they was looking for Osama bin Laden, for instance, right? And they getting all these different tips. And so they put it into this big data center. And now this data center is able to make informed decisions based on the information and the research that's been put into it here, right? A lot of growth, right? So Palantir right now just focus on really their money comes from making AI for the military. But once their growth is going to continue to span outside of the military into like hospitals, into universities, that's why we see Palantir as still a top 10 investment even into 2026, because they are just on the tipping point of what they can be, right? And so once they tap into like hospitals and universities and to commercial spaces, look out. It's going to be another great 100% plus year for Palantir. This is a new one to the list here, guys. Micron. All right. Simple as this right here. They make memory for AI chips, right? Could be the next NVIDIA and Palantir. This is what they see it as, right? Very young company. 139%. That's how it's been performing so far this year. Guys, I want to harp on this here for a little bit. Search and answers in seconds is unstoppable. All right. Guys, let me say this here really quick. We were back in we were back in like early, like late 90s when the internet first came out. And that was brand new to a lot of people. Right now, guys, we are in a super internet phase of AI. And so when you can go to chat GPT and put in stuff that's been happening 300 years ago or what's going on prevalent today, and you got this company Micron, they make the memory for AI. And so when you can go into chat GPT and you can say who won the Super Bowl last year, and it spit that information out to you in seconds. That's what Micron does. It's the memory for the AI. And so it's crazy, man. Like the stuff that we don't know, I go to AI systems that's built on my phone. And every company, major company, when you look at Meta, Facebook, they spend the money on AI because they want you to go on their search engines and tap into questions of what you don't know for AI and information to be spit out. Google is investing into AI because they want you to go on the search engines and ask them questions, and then as an AI generator, that spit that information out. You go to Chat GPT, it's gonna spit that information out. Amazon uses AI. So it's a lot of these companies that's using AI, and this particular company here, Micron, makes the memory behind it, guys. which is awesome, right? Makes the memory for AI chips. And so this one here is new on our list. The ticker symbol for this here is MU. All right, guys. The last one here, TSM, the Taiwan Semiconductor here, right? It's the world's largest chip maker. Some of its major customers is Apple, Nvidia, AMD, and Broadcom. All right, all these companies here, with the exception of Apple. Apple is not on our top 10 investments for 2026. Apple is just kind of like the grandma of AI these days, so it's been kind of behind. But TSM, guys, let me explain this here and tell you a little bit more. You see, I got this statement right here: Air Jordans and Nike to China. So let me explain this here: Air Jordans to Nike to China. So what TSM? This is how I compare what TSM is. So you got Michael Jordan shoes, right? So Nike owns Michael Jordan, all right, Air Jordan brand. But Air Jordan brand is made in China in factories that Nike realized that, hey, look, where can I go to have these shoes made at the cheapest price and to be shipped over here to the US and to be selling these shoes for $250, $300 when it only costs Nike $10. TSM is the same way. I told you here in the PowerPoint slide, they are the world largest chip maker. They make chips for Apple. They make chips for Nvidia. They make chips for Broadcom. So TSM is like the factory over in China. They doing all the sweat work. They the ones making the chips. They the backbone behind the chips. And so that's why TSM is to be owned. If I had to recommend one company that you immediately go and buy that what you don't have in your particular portfolio that we've been talking about, one of the very first ones would be TSM. The demands for TSM will continue. Let me go back over here. Let's see what TSM, what the stock has been performing at so far this year. 51%, 51% so far this year. So we are very high on TSM here. All right. So this rounds up our top 10 investments for, excuse me, for 2026. Guys, want to go ahead and screenshot this here. This is our top 10 investments for 2026.